left work yesterday at 4 AM, now it's 8 AM, and I'm back at the workshop again. But they've got an emergency lights test this morning, which takes 3 hours in the dark. So I'm not really sure how productive I can be, and I've really sprained my wrist as well, so I'm not really sure what I'm hoping to achieve today. As you can see, I'm in nighttime lighting mode right now. The main lights are off, but all the switches still work, so I've got my little lamps on. 3 hours I've got to wait for this to be done. I got some breakfast though. Good old GR eggs. Right, my wrist is still too busted up to do any serious furniture making today, but this might be a good opportunity to do some product development. I have some ideas that require a little bit of refinement and don't require too much like strenuous activity, so let's do those today. I've got a bit of editing and design work and some emails to fire off on the computer first. Originally, Valchromatic was kind of just conceived as being like a kitchen, bedroom, odd cabinetry company, and we'd use a really specific set of materials, and those would kind of create a very specific look. But then me and Maya went to the mid-century modern interiors vintage fair thing at Dulwich College, and that was kind of inspiring. We walked around and it gave me loads of ideas for some other products that we could make to kind of start to develop like a range that went with the kitchens. Electricity's back online. Got lights again. When I'm finishing these pieces of plywood, I use Osmo oil, which works really great if you use a brush. You just dip it straight in, and the grain hides all the brush marks. Normally I'd use a better brush, but this is the only disposable brush I have left right now. The trick is to brush it in quite thin, and then once it's dry, come back with some really fine grit sandpaper like 600, rub it all down, and then give it another really thin coat, and you get a really nice finish. These are little side tables that we've made. Bedside or sofa side tables. And they're just made from the scraps that we have lying around for making the kitchens and the bedrooms and so on. Once this is dry, I have these little segments to put in. They're just like spots to charge your phone. Maya finishes work early on a Friday, and when she gets back we're going to try and iterate some more like home interior stuff that we want to work on. We've got like a whole list, but we're just going to try and focus on one thing I think this evening. We're also going to get some dinner at some point. This is raffia yarn. It's like a dyed paper, and this stuff's all from Portugal. We have a whole bunch of it. Here are the Valchromat samples. This is what we make our cabinetry from, and this raffia paper has this really nice like primary colour vibe, and the colours kind of match. It's really quite surprising how much these colours match. For example, there's like a khaki, which is very similar to this one. Shame they don't make purple Valchromat anymore. But this natural colour right here is very similar to the birch plywood colour on the floor here. We're going to go and get a pizza!
What?
And then we're coming back for hobby night round 2.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
We're going back to the office now for hobby night. Cheers. takes a very, very, very long time to do. We're making lampshades tonight. This is part of some product development we're working on. We want to do a range of lampshades to go with some of the side tables and stuff we've been working on. And so Maya's just completed this one. We have this really nice dyed paper yarn. And we've set up these sticks to hang them up so that they don't get all tangled. And then we're just weaving it around. But what we've realised is, now that we're halfway through the second one, what we need to do is to bind. Can you see that? Can you zoom in on that bit? We need to bind the frame first. So if we wrap all of the frame with this paper yarn, then you won't see all of the white frame sticking through. You can see in some spots where it sticks through. Is that clear? But this is part of the iteration process, and you go to school on your first one and you just keep making more and more, and you figure out all of the little idiosyncrasies that you need to fix when you're trying to design something new. But you always have to make more than one. You can never make one of something and have it be finished. You need to make at least 5 before you really start to notice all of the things that you need to do, I would say. So that's our product development day / evening, and it'll probably take a little while to kind of develop some ideas and make sure that they're right before we try and start selling them. And that'll get a nice complementary range that we can stick on both our website and the Etsy shop as well. So fingers crossed, we'll just keep trooping away a little bit at a time. About 1 to 3 times a week we do a hobby night, and sometimes that's just to work on personal stuff that we're interested in. But if we're feeling it, if we're feeling the vibe, then we'll go and do Valchromatic product development in the evenings. But the lampshades are looking really good. I'm really pleased with how they're coming out so far. Good night.